Hey, hello, here's Andreas from eSurfer from our shop here in Berlin, Germany. Today we want to make another service video for our customers who want to assemble their Fliteboard the first time. And this is why we do this video, to show how this works. Of course, you have your board bag with the board inside. Make sure that the Velcro is here on the top. This makes it easier later on. Then you have, of course, your battery. We have a separate video to show you how to charge the different batteries. Then, of course, you have a stabilizer and your front wing. And the rest is here in the accessory box. Okay, let's go. Let's start with the accessory bag. Inside the accessory bag, you have the flight box, the electronics, the mast, and the propulsion. You have another small box here, which I will show shortly. And as you can see here, this here Fliteboard has both propeller propulsion as well as jets. If you have a second propeller propulsion, you can put it here. If the propeller is mounted, you can put the alternative jet drive here. Sometimes this here is not mounted. You will find it separate in the box. In this case, you need to just screw it in with one screw, but in this case here, it's not necessary. It's already mounted. Now let's look into the small accessory bag. You can see my one is already used. It looks not so tidy as when you open it the first time. You will find the user guide here. Please read through it. You will also get a nice sticker for it. It's important to read the manual. This is where all your screws are. My one is already empty because the board is already mounted or was mounted. There are several adapters here for the charging device, which charges a hand controller. Then you have different shims. Shims is to set the angle of your stabilizer, the rear wing. I guess this is more for advanced users. I would start in the golden mid, so for example 2. Then you have some spare parts here, which you can use later on if needed. You have your tools to mount the board, and then you have Tefgel. The Tefgel prohibits corrosion with your screws, so you should put some Tefgel on the screws before you mount them into the board. And as the next step, we will mount the mast and propulsion. Let's mount the mast first. Open the board bag with the Velcro on top, because then you have the opening for the mast here upside down. You have a tool, which is for all the screws. I don't recommend using a battery screwdriver. That said, I'm using it sometimes, especially you have to mount or assemble and disassemble a lot of boards. But then finally at the end, I always use this tool because it gives me a better feeling how strong I need to pull the screws. That said, I'm using a screwdriver now just for the video. As you can see, I let the screws always in the board and also in the propulsion, because in this case I always know where they are and don't lose them. Nothing is more annoying than being at the beach and you're missing a screw. Okay, let's take them out. Some comments about this orange sealing. You may remember there was a spare sealing in the small accessory box. This here is inside loose, you know. It fits very well, but make sure that you don't lose it. Make sure that it's always clean. Maybe use some silicone grease once in a while, especially if you're using it in salt water. If it falls out and you want to put it in, you may have the feeling that it's actually too large. No, it is actually not. It is designed like this because once you put it in, it will actually push itself together, and this is why it doesn't fall out. Again, make sure that this is always clean, otherwise there might go some water into the battery compartment. In the next step, we take out the propulsion out of the accessory bag and pull it in here with the cable to the front. And as you can see, it fits exactly here inside. Just hold it for a moment with one hand when you screw in the first screws by hand in case it is windy or anything happens, so that it will not fall out. The next step is then to mount them ideally with this tool, or if you're lazy than I am, maybe with this one. But again, at the end, use this one to make sure that they really are tight. Now that we have mounted the mast, the next step would be the stabilizer, the rear wing and the front wing. As you can see, I have the screws here still inside so that I don't lose them. As you can also see, it is actually ideal to work on this. The board is protected by the board back and I can easily mount the wings like this. Before I start, I want to show you two things. One are the shims. I mentioned this before in the smaller accessory bag. This is actually to change the angle of the rear wing. The second thing is you have two of these caps. One says 1 and the other one says 2. And this is if you're using different wings. You can take this off and put this on if you're using a different wing, so that it perfectly fits. Okay, let's take the screws out and mount the wings. If you have different wings, make sure that you're using the right screws. Of course, the screws come always with the wing, but different wings may have different screws, right? Like with the cap I explained before. And in addition, these 3 screws, there's one longer screw, and the longer screw goes here into the top and the 2 shorter screws to the back. Guess what? We are almost done. Yeah, your board is assembled. I will show in a minute how to insert the battery and turn on the board. If you do not go to the water right away, take the wing covers. Yeah, the wing covers also fit when the board is assembled. You know, like the board back. You know, this is why it has the Velcro. It will go around the mast, and therefore your board is always protected, also if it's assembled. Okay, the board is assembled. I can put it onto the wings and the nose. It is actually quite stable because of the wings. Here we have very soft grass, so it's fine without any protection. If you don't have such a soft underground, use your board back. You don't want to scratch or damage your expensive board. The next step is to put the battery in. So we open the battery compartment by opening the latches here, turn them by 90 degrees and open it. Take the battery, slip it in carefully. Use the battery locker so that it cannot fall out. Then you have only 2 cables, an orange and a black one. Put the orange one into the orange port and the black one into the black port until you hear a click. Then you close the battery compartment and the board will turn on. This is because there's a magnet inside here which will turn on the board. The board is turned on. The LEDs are green, which means it's connected to the remote. All is good. In case it will not connect and the LEDs are orange, there's a separate video on our channel how to pair the hand controller. So in this case it's paired. It says on the display you need to unlock it. It's currently locked, yeah, safety mechanism, and you do this by pulling the trigger, pressing minus, and then you can accelerate. But it only turns the motor just for half a rotation, and this is another safety mechanism because it recognizes that the board is not flat, right? It is with the nose down, and this is why the motor will not turn. Once it is in the water and flat, it will actually accelerate. Now you know how to assemble a Fliteboard. It's really easy, it doesn't take very long. For us it's time to go on the water. We have beautiful weather today. I put on the board bag one more time just to show you that it also works if it's assembled. We get the question once in a time, okay, what if I needed to transport it to the beach and it's 500 meters away? How do I carry it? Therefore, we have worked with a partner in the US and created this eFoil cart. It is like a board bag. It is very good quality, a lot of handles, but in addition it has some features such like, you can put your battery here inside. You can put all your accessories here inside, such like the hand controllers and other things. You can mount and dismount wheels, and the wheels make the difference obviously, because if you have a long distance to the beach, you can just very easily track it. I can just use one finger, so easy it is. You can find this product in our shop. We also will make a separate video about it to explain it into detail. But for now, we are done. The Fliteboard is assembled and we can go to the water. So I hope this was helpful for you and hope to see you soon. Bye.